Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds, it's another Crazy Geek Crafter. This is a fairly quick Valentine's card. The paper's doing all the work here, and sometimes you're that lucky. The paper pad is very old, I'm talking years. The brand is from, well, LiDL. It's a grocery store that also keeps items for different occasions from time to time. Sometimes it's tools, clothes, things for studying. Sometimes it's for creative things. So I bought this years ago, but a lot of patterns are wedding or love related, and I don't do a lot of those cards. It's not really something I gravitate toward, and I only do one Valentine's card every year, so this pack is going to last me quite a long time. I'm making a square card to emphasize the beautiful paper that I found. It is 4.5 by 4.5 centimeters. And the reason for that measurement is that I have some scraps that fit for that kind of card. I had to... What was I making? I was making a project where I needed a lot of this white cardstock at a specific width, and then I had a lot of leftovers, which were 14.5 wide and the full, 30.5 centimeters long. So I planned out my card, not as well as I had thought I would. I should have centered the birds more in the square. I do pull the square into the paper a little bit, but I should have done it on the other side as well. This one is fairly easy. I just want as much as this bird image in the corner as possible. There's a bit of glitter on one side of these, and the other side is the same print, but plain. I prefer not to put the paper through the die cutting machine more than necessary. That's why I often cut off the excess. In this case, I just let it hang out one side. On the gray one, I do cut it off. But it's the paper often gets creased by from all the cutting marks on the plate, and I don't like that. I am having a bit of trouble with the position with my cutting machine. After my desk got smaller, I had to reconfigure, and I'm still working out the kinks for everything to work smoothly. So that's why I'm struggling a bit here with the die cutting. And that is not the point. The point is that everything should be as easy as possible, because otherwise I try to find another way than to die cut bigger things like this. You know, the small die cutting machine is always within within grasp, but it doesn't work for things like this. I often forget this step when I'm doing cards. It's the inking of the edges, and for this one I want to go red, and I got a bit too red. I only wanted a subtle, very subtle coloring, but my first we could call it my first inking was so heavy that I had to go with it, and I feel a bit bad about it, but I can't really do anything about it. I did have trouble with the paper being very thin, and therefore wanted to bend when I moved on it, and that made the process a bit irritating. But this abandoned coral color actually fit very well with the pattern paper, but as you see, there's not much left of the original color. I was aware of not being heavy-handed this time, so the black soot was not as bad. Now there's some, like I said, some glitter, some coating on the white parts here, and they will resist the ink. That's why I was wiping it off with the dry paper wipe before, to take off the black off the plastic. You could see that the coating was a tiny bit off, but it didn't matter. It's a very small detail, and it's not really something I can change. The sentiment comes from Fawn. It's going to be the scripty Happy Valentine's Day in the corner, and I'm just looking for a scrap of white to make it on, to stamp it on. Sorry about my vocabulary today. Since it's going over the black background, I figured it was better to make it white with the black ink. And I'm pushing it a bit in so that I have enough room on each side for some the word escapes me completely. I don't know what to call it. Sorry about that. Maybe it'll come back in a minute, but I'm going to cut it out with a flag sentiment die from Fawn. And I wanted some space on either side so that I could adjust the length and the position on the card. That was what I think I was trying to say before. And this is just about everything there is to this card. It's fairly simple since, like I said, the paper is doing all the work for me. I didn't need to color in images or anything. But I still think it's a stunning card. And that's because the artist behind the paper was good at it. You can be lucky like that sometimes. Now I'm just looking for a small embellishment. I know somewhere in my stash I have a heart. And here it is, a heart gem. And I'm just going to put one on the card. I did think about covering up the pink hearts over the white birds, but it didn't really fit. I only had the one size in red, and I didn't think that the bluish purple would fit with the rest of the colors. So I just went for this one embellishment by the Happy Valentine's Day. And this was the card. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll be back for another card. Hopefully on time next time. Until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening, or night.